All right, everyone. Welcome to another Mountain Man Monday live stream episode 21 for March 30th, 2020. And I have a really exciting episode tonight. This live stream, we're going to have some special guests. Without further ado, let's go ahead and add them to the stream.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, first up, we've got Will from Yankee in the South working well. How you doing, Will?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all, actually. Just, I guess, like everybody else, stuck in their house right now. So
yeah. No, this is really cool. It looks excellent on your end. Very clear. I can hear you coming through. So this is pretty neat. Yeah. So you guys have been mostly and recently, because we're all kind of trapped in our homes, but I've seen some of the videos you've been doing with going and driving and checking everything out. It's been pretty cool to still kind of be productive.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get out a little bit. I'm sure, like, if the rules change, because here in Tennessee, we can still leave the house and all that as of right now. But a governor, he's closed all the essential businesses down, but he has never told technically, legally, people have to stay home. So that's pretty much where we're at with that. So
we have the stay-at-home order started today at 5 p.m. in North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I know a lot of states are really starting to crack down on things and that. So
Yep. And I know we're going to have another guest here in a few minutes. I think he's still trying to connect. Looks like you did. So when you connected, you just clicked the link and it was easy to pop in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've actually been playing with this software for a while. So I kind of know. I've actually did test runs on this software, and on both ends I would have Dawn actually like sit on the other side of the house, and we would, so I kind of know how it all worked. But yeah, getting good quality from a laptop is very hard. Got to get like external like a camera of some sort,
Well, yours looks really clear. What are you using right now?
I'm actually using the phone.
Okay, so it's perfect. I mean, it looks great. I'm actually on an external camera, but as the infamous mountains that I live in, unfortunately, our internet is only so good here, and so I do the best that I can. But you're coming through crystal clear. Let me see if I can add Chris. Whoa!
Hey, there he is.
Welcome, Chris, about T-shirts. All right, this is fucking great. So how are you, Chris?
I'm good. I'm wearing real headphones because I don't trust earbuds. I think they can cause damage to my hearing because I've had issues from them before. So, is my microphone too loud or anything? Or
no, sounds good to me. How is it coming through for you, Will?
Perfect. Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah, Will and
everybody looks clear.
It's clear.
Everybody looks clear. Yes.
Yeah. What are you using, Chris? Did you say you used a laptop or computer, or is this your mobile phone?
This is the desktop computer. It's really an old webcam that my stepmother had. I'm gonna try and get a better one eventually, but right now this is the one that I could find. It's probably 8 years old or something.
Yeah.
And then this is my gaming stuff that I actually took out of the package today. So
yeah, we were
actually brand new.
That sounds really good. Now I'm impressed. I like how I didn't know how it would cut the screen, but it's got the verticals like that. And actually it shows I've got a different arrangement. Now, Will, you were talking about using some software. Were you using StreamYard, or I know did you talk about OBS or some Skype and
I was working with OBS, and I found out there's a big problem with OBS. To have guests come on, technically, really the only way of doing that would be Google Hangouts or Skype, and those require a lot of processes that a lot of folks wouldn't figure out, or could be hard for them to figure out. And I want to be able to eventually take people in from the stream itself, because I can actually post a link in the chat. And then people can click on that link, and then I can actually pick and choose, or, or send them out, and you can actually just bring people in. Of course, there's some issues with that. You gotta be careful with. You don't want to bring someone in and they're gonna, do something bad or something. But that's what I kind of wanted to do with our channel, is get more interactive with the audience. So
kind of like almost not technically, but almost like call in, because you can pick somebody up on the fly and you can talk to them on the spot.
So I was looking at OBS. OBS is extremely hard to do that.
Okay.
So then about a week or so ago, I started to look at StreamYard, because it's actually a very good program. And yes, that's the way to go to do this type. So
yeah, no, I'm super pleased. It's working out really well. We were just kicking off the conversation, Chris, talking about what else but the current events and how it's been a little bit limiting, the YouTube community. And I'm still impressed with what Will and Don have been doing. I think that's creative, to drive around and show what's happening and still give that insight, even though we can't really get out.
I get a lot of flack, though. A lot of folks out there they get upset when they see us driving around. They're like, oh, you guys are, and they're thinking about their own state or their situation. They're from New York and they're like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And stuff. But here in Tennessee, we don't have any restrictions for driving around or using a park or whatever. So, so I get a lot of flack from even doing those drive arounds.
That's crazy because, if you just go from the science of it, being in your car is totally social distancing, and you're not, driving to a point and then getting a meet or a get together. It seems to me more like along the lines a little bit of trolling, because listen, I'm huge about social distancing and about being safe. I am in that camp totally, but I just we had thought as a family about taking a drive on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Now, I don't know how that's going to work out now with the stay-at-home order, if they close the gates or not. But if we had done that and not interacted with anybody, we could stay in our car. There's no, but I'll have to see what the rules end up doing. So
and the good thing about us driving around is it keeps people from doing it themselves. We have a lot of local people here, and they're like, I can watch you guys do it, and I don't have to do it, myself. Or you get people from other states, they start seeing the severity of there's nothing open here, you know what I'm saying? So, but
I'll be quite honest with you, Will. I really don't understand. I guess I do. I guess on paper I understand the negativity towards. You talk a lot about how you get negativity on your channel from other people. I have kind of my own personal hunch where that's happening. I'm not sure if I'm right or not. I don't.
You probably are.
Yeah, it feels well. Yeah, and I'm not naming any names, but I feel like there's some factions growing, and I think the competitiveness is. I've never understood that. I just think everybody helps everybody. I don't think there needs to be that, kind of competitiveness between folks. And quite frankly, it really minimizes people when they behave like that. There's no secret side to you all that's anything that could be even a target for something negative. There's just all positiveness. You have such a strong community support from Chris and myself and the whole community. I suppose at the end of the day, if 99.9% is good, the 0.1%, like you say, you can kind of, brush off. But I don't get it. I had Adam the Woo come to town, and we sat down and we had dinner one night, and we talked a lot about. I asked him what am I going to experience over my time being YouTuber as we get bigger. And he said the one thing is, and then of course he said the same thing, you're going to get a lot of people get jealous of you real quick. And then, of course, that will all happen. So, yes, I learned a lot, those days from him and that. And some people probably, and unfortunately, probably used you guys, unfortunately, in your platform. I just think the whole thing is unfortunate. I don't know, Chris, have you had any negativity towards your channel or anything like that in the community? I mean, for new YouTubers who might be listening, or
No, not really. I haven't had any problems. I mean, I haven't had any problems with people complaining, and I have only probably had one day where I was at my house for 24 hours, and every day I've had to go out and do something in the world. I've had to ship stuff to people. I've had, go to the grocery store. I've been very busy, so I haven't really gotten that. I don't know. I mean, Will's just popular, I guess.
The only thing I got was, even on a small channel my size, was one day somebody decided to bombard me and go through every single video within about a 3-minute period, and with 3 accounts hit thumbs down. So my entire library went from 0 to 3 thumbs down all at once. That was the worst thing that happened on my small channel. I didn't take too kindly to it because it was obviously on the offense and not by happen circumstance, So it's a shame that stuff exists. I wish there could be more camaraderie. There obviously is, because we've got it right.
There is. And there's a lot, there's a lot of great people too. And then there's some out there that, I don't know. It's interesting. And you have your ups and downs through YouTube too, and so yeah.
Well, I commend you. I really do, for your response to it. It's easy to stoop to that level. In fact, if myself, I think I would probably be a little, I might be susceptible to latching back. So I really do. I think you've handled it well.
Well, that's what they want. And that's what a specific group that does, or whatever, they want the attention. They want nothing more to shout that out or to cause the drama or to whatever. That's what they're looking for. So, they try to ride that wave, and, but, ultimately, like I said, it's only 1%,
Yeah.
And
probably not even that.
Not even that, because there's so many great people. Of course, we have meetups and stuff all the time, and everybody's been just really great and everything else. So
I miss the meetups. If anybody hasn't heard the story, that was the first time, kind of shifting to the positive, the 3 of us got together. Were some of the meetups last year in the beautiful summer at Pigeon Forge at the island. We had a couple of great summer nights in August. Yes. We all got to hang out. We went to Mellow Mushroom. We did some fun stuff, and then we got together as a group the subsequent month in September for the Apple Festival in Hendersonville, North Carolina. And unfortunately, it's been a little bit of a dry spell until now, that at least virtually the 3 of us were getting together. So make the best of it.
And hello to everybody. It's been saying hi to me, by the way.
Oh, what's that?
I just said hello to everybody that's been saying hi to me in the chat. I didn't want to interrupt you or Will to say hi to everybody. But
oh, yeah. I don't know what happened to Will. He pressed a button and he went away.
I kicked him out.
Did you kick him out? Did you use your administrative privileges, Chris? So how and here we go. I think I'll pop him back in here. I think he pressed maybe the volume.
Chris got what? No. I got to be in the middle. What happened there?
How do I do that?
That was my. So what I was doing is I was trying to see if the chat would show up on the phone, but it's not. I can't see the chat. I got to look down. I got my laptop here. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was messing with it.
I saw your finger, and then Chris said he booted you.
Yeah, but now Chris is over there now. Let's start that way, actually.
Yeah. Anyways. Messing around. It doesn't look like I can. I could do that. That's kind of cool. Nice. I could do that.
Yeah, there's different.
All even. I kind of like it like that. The best. It looks like the old Dallas. When it started, they had like 3 sections on the screen. That TV show.
Yeah.
that's us right now. So one of the things
I could see the chat on my laptop though. I could see the chat. I gotta look down. Like Fred and Christie's Adventures is there. Hi, Fred and Christie, and Blondie's Adventures is in there. Thanks for stopping out, Blondie. Right?
Yeah, we've got. I can flip through. We've got Blondie, hello Blondie, and Marvin, and we've got the Traveling Hoosier, and we've got.
There you go.
My buddy Jason, and we've got Jesus Loves You, and we've got
Billy Carey. Chris is the NASCAR.
story.
I've been called a NASCAR driver and a trucker.
NASCAR driver and trucker. We got who else? Oh, Sexy Matt was here. We've got. What about Dawn? You guys might have heard of her before.
She's over there somewhere.
She's over there. And yep, we got Arthur, and we've got Fred and Christie's Adventures, and I see Dale Bush in there, and I think that
Scott Bartlett.
Scott Bartlett. We got Scott Bartlett here as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got a whole host of folks. I haven't been paying attention.
Welcome everyone
to the chat because in a little bit more interview style and hangout style, I was just having a chat with a couple of buddies here, which I was hoping to see. I tried to get together with these guys back in February, but the current event, it didn't happen. And then I was kind of hoping to get together for that Ponies and the Smokies, Will. It's not going to happen.
I know I just got a message today. The yellow Mustang, there's actually a show of nothing but yellow Mustangs. They just canceled that. So it's a show where it's all yellow Mustangs.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Too bad they don't have it for Jeeps. Just yellow Jeeps. You guys would be in there.
We were gonna buzz them, and see what's going on. I don't know.
Yeah, you should have, and been like, "This is a Mustang, right?" I don't know. Would it be good? But you do have. I'm not as familiar with it, but I've heard of it from you all. There's something called Jeep Invasion or something.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's huge. It's probably one of the biggest independent shows they have in the Smokies, other than the rod runs themselves. It brings in close to 5,000 to 8,000 Jeeps. It's a pretty crazy thing. So.
Chris, do you go down for any of those rod runs or anything? I know the traffic. I've gotten stuck in it before.
We used to go to the rod runs a lot more. Ever since I got stuck on the spur for it was either 5 or 6 hours one night, literally stopped.
Yeah.
That's probably the last time me and Mindy went. That was actually when me and Mindy were dating, and it was like the middle of the night, and she was calling her mom saying, "We're stuck in traffic."
It's probably neat at first to see some cool cars, but then by the end of it, you just you're tired of smelling all the car exhaust.
Yeah. Gasoline and fumes and what have you, and a lot of those cars dump more gasoline out on the road than what they do taking in. So
Well, one of the things
wild.
I've been doing since the break is I had several things wrong on my car. The brakes on my Mustang all were awful. I've never had it so bad. They shaved down to the metal. And so I had to replace the rotors and pads, and then in multiple calipers I had torn seals. The alternator died, which is when I started the work, and I replaced the power steering pump last fall. I bought it from Advanced Auto, but it went bad. It whined, so I got it under warranty for free, but I had to replace it, again myself. So my car's been up on jack stands for like 3 weeks now because I just work on it all the time on the weekends because I got nowhere to go. So, just a project around the house, My other channel, which I don't really do a strong committal to, it's called The Eclectic Handyman. I've been putting a couple videos here and there of like working on the brakes. I don't put near the effort I do into like the way I make videos here. Those are more like raw art, basically.
Those are good videos, though. You did a good job on them. I watched a few of them.
Did you watch the 42-minute one where I replaced the toilet?
I didn't. I don't think I watched the 42-minute one.
Yeah,
but you did a good, informative job of telling people how to do stuff. That's good.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do because I personally, I have become so much more productive from YouTube all around the house and on the car and everything. Like the other day when I was taking out the rear caliper, the seal was busted and I didn't know how to do it. So the first thing I do is go to Google, YouTube and say how to replace, blah, blah, blah. And you don't always find the exact video, especially if it's something that I can help. Like one time I replaced a thermostat in the house and a lot of people found that helpful. So Yeah, anyway, I've been trying to keep busy with that. The weather has gotten a lot nicer. I'm sure over in Tennessee, I've seen from Will's videos driving around, I can tell by the leaves on the trees that you guys have probably been getting some warmer weather, right?
Yeah, and it's everything's turning green over here right now, and of course we do a lot of hiking in the Smoky Mountains, and so this is wildflower season. Unfortunately, we can't get into the Smoky Mountains because it's totally locked up right now.
Yeah. So I was asking you guys about the other week, just like I guess, yeah, Will. So I guess all the official stuff is closed, like Great Smoky Mountains National Park. You had mentioned the Roaring Fork or Roaring Motor Fork Trail out Airport Road? That's closed. So are there like parks and just places that aren't like touristy, but just the mountains that you can just kind of walk around and stuff by yourself, not with people or anything?
Well,
I don't mean dangerous. I just mean, kind of maybe in a field with the mountains in the back. I don't know.
Yeah. This is, of course, the national park's totally shut. There's really no part of it you can access. And our local parks in the area, just today, Pigeon Forge and Sevierville just shut down all the parks. So there's not much option for even walking. The cities and county here has kind of taken over, from the governor, and they're making their own, closures and stuff. So there really isn't much you could do but drive the back roads or maybe a sidewalk somewhere, But,
something like that. Yeah, it's again, I got to check out and see what's going to happen, because today at 5 p.m. North Carolina has the stay and hold until April 30th. I don't know how that's going to impact leisurely drives. I think that's inclusive of it, that it's pretty much go to the grocery or, that kind of stuff. And so because my plan had been, again, Blue Ridge Parkway is just a few miles from here to hop on and maybe take it towards Mount Pisgah or something like that. But I don't even know if that's allowed anymore. Yeah, it's really tough, but at least, thank goodness for this community, we have our virtual means of connecting through live streams and whatever material we can come up with.
And this is starting to become popular because it's hard to find any kind of it's hard to find webcams and stuff right now. And I was talking to the guy at Walmart, and he just says that people are just buying up webcams. They're buying up means to talk back and forth with their families, and like HDMI cords are hard to find right now, things like that, because a lot of folks are saying, well, we're going to do what we're doing here, And
I was trying to find a better webcam today, and there was nothing in town. I was hoping for one of those click and pick ups at Target or Walmart or Best Buy or somewhere, and nobody had a webcam. So I had to dig out this old one that I had.
Well, you look good though, Chris.
From like 8 years ago.
So
it looks good. I had heard something like that, Will, as soon as you said it, and Chris, on the news, because everybody's working from home now, and some people require video and stuff. And so I feel fortunate. I had had a really, really old one, and then about the time I started doing live stream on this channel, I decided to invest in a little nicer one for an external. And so I went ahead and did that, and thankfully I have that. But like I joked at the beginning of the stream, I'm not throttled by the camera. I'm throttled by the wonderful mountain internet that we have. That's the joy of living in the mountains, at least the part of the mountains I'm in. And so, but
I remember you having trouble with internet service when we visit you and all that.
Yeah. I on your live stream on Sunday, or sometimes on Chris, we talk about, I like to grill out on Sundays, and we had you guys over. When this nuttiness subsides and you guys are over in this neck of the woods again, we'd love to do that. That would be, it's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, you can't see now because we have trees in our backyard, and in the winter, when the leaves fall off, you can actually see mountain views. But in the summer, it's all blocked because all the leaves, kind of like, I think you guys were there in September or something like that. So, it was getting hot the other day. I was driving in the car, and it was 90 degrees on Saturday evening. It got really warm, but it's going to fool us because I think we're supposed to get down to like the 50s and low 30s like in a day or two, and then it kind of pops back up. So this is the kind of weather you get sick anyway. Forget about the big thing, just a regular cold, goes from hot to cold or whatever.
Oh, I got to tell you something. So today I was in Walmart. We did some shopping because I was anticipating that the governor was going to probably lock everybody down. So we decided to do some shopping. Of course, there's limitations on a lot of things. So I was in the travel section. I actually found some hand sanitizer, and I grabbed 2 bottles. Now, there was no sign there. It said 2 bottles. And you wouldn't believe, I went to a self-checkout, and some lady came out of nowhere and just reached in there. You can only have one. She made a big scene.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, what? Over a 97-cent bottle of hand sanitizer, it wasn't, there was like 20 of them back there. I only took 2, right? And she had a fit. And then she was going through all my bags. Like what else do you have? Oh, yeah. She was going through making sure we had no contraband, I felt like I was a criminal. And she made a big scene about it, like really like loud. Everybody in the whole store is looking. And she's like, you can only have one. Can't you read? And I said, ma'am, that's from the travel section. There is no signs stating
that,
I was trying to be nice,
Yeah.
And she's like, but they all hand sanitize. I go, you know what I mean? I just said that.
Crazy.
It just, because nobody was looking in the travel section, with all little bottles of things.
Well, that's super
clever. I felt like you the other day when, the thing is, I told her, I was talking to another employee there, and I go, they want everybody to stay home. And I understand about the hoarding, but you can only get 1 loaf of bread. Now, if you got a family of 6 or 7, that loaf of bread's going to last you, and a gallon of milk, it's going to last you the day. You're going to have to go out every single day.
So that's a great segue into the story that I tried to put on your live stream. I go up in line at Walmart, and I had like $300 worth of groceries because I didn't want to go out like you're talking about. And I had 2 loaves of bread, 2 milks, and 3 egg cartons, but they were the small ones. And oh man, they just swolled on me. You can only have one of this and one of this and one of this. And so I started giving stuff back, and I said, well, if I could only have 1 eggs, I would have gotten the box of, they had like a box of like 64.
Okay.
And they said, you could do that. And so the one guy was pretty nice. He's like, do you want to do that? I said, well, I don't want to go back. But he goes, I'll go get it for you. So he goes and gets me the big box of eggs. But check this out. This is crazy. Totally ironic. Lady's right behind me doing self-checkout. She has blue gloves on, which I think this is fine. I actually wore them the other day myself. Whether it's good or bad, I had them on, but not that day. So I could tell she's trying to protect herself, right? She hears what's going on with me, and she leans back and whispers to me, that means you're going to have to come back more than once, which is not safe. She doesn't realize that gesture of whispering in my ear, like 6 inches off. I'm like, away from me. No, you're trying to protect yourself, but you think you're whispering, but get away from me. So I found that ironic because she probably didn't realize it's just habit, And I told the lady, I said, listen, I have a big family. And I said, I'm not trying to hoard. I said, you guys need to prevent the people buying, 18 bags or things of toilet paper or something like that. And they said, sorry, you can come back tomorrow. And I'm like, I'm not coming back tomorrow.
Yeah, and it almost makes you feel like a criminal because she yelled it to the store. Everybody looked, and it's like, oh my gosh, and everybody's like looking at you like, oh, you're hoarding or something, And I was upset about it. Yeah. It's actually been bothering me. It's like, wow,
Everybody says that, Will, from Yankee in the South, hoarding.
Yeah. Well, I have a hard time going shopping anymore anyways because we also went to Kroger before that, and they were super nice. They have their limits are not 1 or 2. They were like 5 or 6. So
yeah.
There was a better, you can get more there. It lasts you, throughout the week at least. And they were super nice, but they all know. They're like, oh, Will, and so it was kind of hard to, I'm saying? Everybody's talking and wanting to
You should have whipped your phone out, Will, and started to do a video and be like, here at Walmart, I'm getting yelled at because there's too many hand sanitizers on Yankee in the South tonight.
No, and it wasn't like, I could see if I grabbed the whole case of them or, I mean, I don't know. But the lady came out of nowhere. I mean, literally just swooped in there. She went into my bag, pulled it out, and she's like real loud about it, you can only have one, and she was, anyways. So that was my experience. And I thought about you the other, when, I was kind of, anyways.
I went to, we have a grocery store here in North Carolina called Ingles. It's kind of like your food city. It's our kind of local grocery. Yeah. And they had absolutely everything except for toilet paper, which is fine because I think most people have stocked up at this point. But I did notice prices are starting to creep up a little bit. I got chicken trays of chicken breasts, and the trays were about $17, and they're normally that would have been about 12 or 13. The price per pound has gone up. Some of the meats have gone up in price. I still found deals and some sales, but some things are starting to creep up a little bit in price.
Yeah, I noticed there's a loaf of bread we always get, and it jumped up like a good 60 cents a loaf, but it's going up every single time. So they're raising they're slowly raising the prices on things and stuff. So
I hope that is caused by genuine distribution and supply and demand, and not the grocery stores getting greedy.
Yeah.
I hope they're not jacking up prices to take it to the consumer, because right now, the way the economy is with so many people like restaurant workers and and all these folks out of work, you don't want to be taking advantage of anybody right now.
Yeah, Dale Bush says, she touched all your stuffing. I didn't think about that. She didn't have no gloves on, and she was reaching around in my bag. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean.
That's what I was thinking, too. You said that, and I was like, she went through your bag? Like, no, I mean, that's a little bit. That's the thing about Walmart. They're kind of, I don't know. I
could have walked. I could have just left everything there and just said, you know what, but I don't know. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know about you guys, and maybe you tell me. Maybe I'm being a little too paranoid, but my heart rate probably goes up 15 points when I go to the grocery store. I am so super nervous. Like I'm trying to stay 10 feet away from people. Like, I just feel like, I know I'm over exaggerating, but like, it's not like bullets are whizzing, but I'm telling you, I just don't, I'm very uncomfortable. Because the thought of me bringing something home, I'm talking about getting sick and bringing something home, just the crap out of me. I just don't want to, I'm just trying to be so uber safe. And, you never know who's, out there. And oh my goodness, these days, and I feel bad, but if one person coughs, I'm like, what in the world? Like,
Well, even when we went this morning to grocery shop, we made a thing out of it. We knew we were going in the morning. We went first thing in the morning. We wore, protective, and then we did our shopping, and then we come home. Of course, we left our shoes out on the porch. We stripped our clothes down because you don't know what your clothes came in contact with.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's just, overcautious, and they went right into the wash instantly. Nope. We took showers.
Yep.
And before we started tracking around the house, and then, so yes,
that's what we're doing. In the house. What we did, we took it a step further, and you can call me crazy too. I wore the gloves because I had some from the garage from working. I came home. I had my wife take the food out of the bags in the garage and leave the bags in the garage from Walmart. And then I went directly in the house. I didn't put the food away because I was out. I took my clothes off in like where the washer and dryer is, and I went straight to the shower and took a shower. And so to kind of mitigate like anything, because they don't really know exactly how it can get trekked through. So I realize that's probably being overly cautious. But again, I just don't want to, I don't know. I don't want to take a chance. It's not that hard to do that. Leave the shoes outside, take a shower, put the clothes in the washing machine. It's no slack off my back to be a little extra, cautious. That's all.
Chris, have you done anything different since this whole thing? I mean, I imagine you've done. It's everybody's changed their lives.
I've probably not been as careful as I should have been. I'm probably the least careful of the three of us, but I've been trying to be a lot more careful. Like when I went to the post office, I did wear a glove. I didn't wear a glove to the UPS store, which I probably should have. Usually we'll bring the mail in, we'll set it somewhere, and we'll let it sit for a couple of days before we actually go through it. That sort of stuff. But I don't know. Yeah, we've been trying to take our shoes off before we walk through the house with them and that kind of. I'm doing better since I have Mindy, because if I didn't have Mindy, I wouldn't be doing that good probably.
Chris, the mail thing, like I got some packages today. Like you guys know that I like to work out. Well, the gym's been closed for forever, so I bought weights, some extra weights online because I needed more. Let me tell you, they cost more than gold does these days. That was, I don't even want to say how much they cost. It was embarrassing. Anyway, they came in the mail, and I sprayed the outside of the box. But like, are you supposed to leave them outside for a day or two, or can you just? I don't know. I've been just spraying.
I don't know. That's just what we've been doing, just in case. I don't know. I don't have any information to go on besides just it's easy enough for us because we don't have any mail that we have to deal with that day usually.
Yeah.
So we just do it just in case.
Yeah, I cut the box. I'm going to cut the box and then use like a I mean, I guess it would be, you would literally have to like, somebody would have had to have sneezed into a box, sealed it, you pick it up, touch it, and then like eat your dinner or something like that. I think it'd have to be a real extreme.
Yeah.
Saxy Matt says here that he got a package from New York, and triple cleaned it. Yeah.
I got a letter today from New York, and I was thinking, okay. And then it's from like Knack and Sack. And I go, I think it's pretty close to New York City and all that. I go, we better leave that one like out on the porch for a little bit. Spray with Lysol or something,
Yeah, that's I don't want to be touching any of that stuff right now. But unfortunately, that's the best way to do stuff is kind of order. It's weird though, because I thought about ordering some stuff off of Amazon as far as food. And they're out of the most basic stuff. Like one of my kids wanted to bake a cake. And I said, well, I'm already making an Amazon order and let me see how much cake is. They were out of all the cake boxes. And the one I found was price gouging. It was like $22 for a box. I'm like, what?
Oh, wow.
But I went to the grocery and guess what? Everything. They even had it on sale for $99 or $1.30 or something like that. So, Amazon will make you feel like there's a shortage, but the reality is it might be at the local grocery.
It's probably the location stuff. It's probably people like New York, California, and places ordering stuff from Amazon. And then us in the South, I don't think have it as bad, just from my opinion. This is all just my opinion, but I think that's why there's a lot more stuff in the stores right now for us because all those places that are hit even harder are having to order from Amazon.
Scott says he got a letter from the state, says there's no concern for mail or packages, very low risk. I handle a lot of mail at work. That's good to know, Scott. That's good. I don't like the mail thing. Like, I know this is all extra precautionary. I just, as I made the comment earlier, I just can't imagine just being a little bit lackluster and getting sick right now. It's popping up all over the place. And we had somebody very close to where I live get sick. And apparently they had been traveling in the early part of March and they were in the hospital for 2 weeks and they just got home a couple of days ago. And so, you hear these stories and it just scares the, everything out of you to, you can't take any chances. The thing that I'm worried about too is I don't know when it's going to end. Like, if we get down as a country to say, like, let's just say on paper, we got down to less than 500 cases in the country. Like, that sounds really good, right? Like less than 500. Are we allowed to just go back out then? Because what if that 500 then re-explodes again? I don't know when, we're going to be able to. I have no idea. That's way above my pay grade. I'm just wondering, like, do we need like a antiviral before or a vaccine before we're able to actually So that way, if you go out and somebody gets sick, then they can get tested and get cured. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think?
I don't know. That's the thing about it is, and and we're all praying that this is going to be done. And a lot of folks are saying, oh, in May, in June, but reality is that technically there's like no, I guess you say, cure or vaccine for it. So, I mean, I'm not a professional, but the thing is that you just can't I guess you could let the people that have had it go back up. But the problem is they're still contaminating the ones who don't. You know what I'm saying? This could be a lot longer than what people think. I mean, I think it will lighten up in certain areas. I think you're going to see a lot of the liberties that we take on as Americans change. I mean, I don't know if it'll come down to where the people who don't have it wears a red shirt, and then I don't know. I mean, what are they going to have to? I mean, these are things that are kind of scary because you see these in like books or even like have we did in the past to segregate. Who knows what will happen? And the thing is, I don't think I would be shocked if everybody's back to business as usual in July. I don't even see that. Technically, everybody's going to have to get it unless all of a sudden they come out with the miracle pill or vaccine that is going to take care of everything. This could be a long time. Now, China's trying, everybody knows China's trying to put people out. But then again, China ain't very honest with everything that they say, too. Who knows? But a lot of folks were saying on the channel, when can we make our vacation plans? Well, China's already been in this for 4 months, if not more. And they're just now starting to come. So that's pointing at the first week of July. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? I
think, no, I agree completely. Like, and as somebody said here, Scott Bartlett, unless everybody develops antibodies, it can repopulate those who are not immune. That's my concern is that, remember, it started in the United States with one case. They think patient zero in the United States was probably somebody who flew from China to Washington. Took one person.
Yep.
All right. So that's what I was saying. If at the United States of a whole, we were less than 500, it could easily just go back. Now somebody else had mentioned maybe it'll change the way we do things. Like maybe we won't shake hands or hug as much, anymore. Chris, I think about you. You go a lot to like concerts and things like that. So as we throttle back into society, maybe a restaurant, maybe walking. But you even think about like the places we enjoy as a group, like Gatlinburg or something like that, like how packed the streets get when you're walking there. Would you feel comfortable without there being a vaccine or an antiviral going and walking down the street or going into, a building or McDonald's or Ripley's or I don't know, whatever, or here in, Western North Carolina, it doesn't matter anywhere, knowing that maybe a random person is still walking around and there's no cure. It's every bit as serious. So I kind of agree. I'm kind of concerned, like this new way of life is going to persist. What I've been seeing is that the antivirals, meaning somebody who's gotten sick and to combat it, are probably have a better potential to come out of the gate first. And the other news I saw today is there's two companies in the front runner, Johnson & Johnson and Moderna. Both have vaccines that are like one is already in phase 1 clinical trials and Johnson & Johnson will be in phase 1 in like a month. They're both targeting early 2021 to have a vaccine. So, but that's still a long time away. I'm looking at the calendar today is March 30th. We've got, 8-9 months left in the year. And I don't know when I'm going to, I don't have the answers. I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah.
Or Will?
Oh. What do you think, Chris?
I think that I don't know. I'm still hopeful that when we get through it to where there's not a lot of cases, we maybe can just, I don't know. I'm hopeful to kind of get back to life as normal. I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I don't know that I'm afraid of it as I should be. I'm trying to be very careful and I don't want it, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I do go to all those concerts and I go to all those shows and I have people like, they're all around you all the time. So it will be kind of scary when if groups start coming upon you, you're gonna have to be thinking about that from now on, which it is gonna change everything for a while, I guess.
You know, and the thing about the whole thing is that, you know, the only way we're going to get over it is if everybody gets it and has those antibodies. Of course, that route, a lot of people are gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or they're gonna lower that curve, but like say Mr. Mountain Man and I and Chris not so much because he's but let's just say Chris gets it and he's you know whatever, and then he's good, but say Mr. Mountain Man and I, we hold out for months and months and months. I mean, what are we going to be stuck in our house forever? I mean, or, you know, I don't know. And of course, I don't know if they're saying that I heard something, it could be a bunch of baloney, but they were saying that some people might be not immune to it, but not get it just naturally due to maybe something they have in them already. So I don't know. We'll see, guys.
The problem is there's varying levels of it. Like they used to think it was just if you had an underlying condition, you were susceptible. But now they have all these random cases of some healthy 30-year-old getting it and, you know, and getting the worst of it. Sometimes a child or maybe somebody does get cured of it and is older. So they don't have the rhyme or reason locked down. That's what makes it scary. And to answer Arthur's question here, if we put a man on the moon, can't we come up with a vaccine in just a couple of weeks? So Arthur, they have come up with a vaccine. Several companies have. The problem is you can't just mass produce it and start using it because it has to go through the clinical trials, which take 12 to 18 months. It's not red tape. It's actually science that they have to make sure it doesn't kill people. You imagine if they, you know, thought they had it or it worked in lab animals and then they mass produced it and then more people say died from the vaccine, then I'm not laughing. But I mean, that's the severity of it. And because I thought the same thing. I'm like, all the things that we've done, you know, but I followed that question very closely. It's a great question. The hope would be that we trip upon some drugs that already exist that can combat the virus. You've heard about the malaria drug and that they're trying to do some more studies for that to see if that could work. If they could get an antiviral, then this would be big because then we could maybe we could get back to that normal living that we all want to do, which is, you know, be able to hang out and go to fun places because this could radically change at least the rest of 2020.
Yeah. And you know, I was having a conversation the other day with someone on Messenger, and they were talking about, do you think Dollywood might ever reopen? Places like Dollywood, like concerts. And you know, and the thing is that they might not allow big gatherings for years, or until they get everything under control. So there could be. I mean, we could go back to going to work and being restricted on things for a while, but I don't think you're going to see concerts. I don't think you're going to see like theme parks. You know what I mean? And even Disney has took. Disney. I mean, you got to remember Disney. They took a bold stance. They say we're indefinitely closed. You know what I mean? Until further. And they're probably thinking the same thing. Like, unless they like lower attendances and only allow a certain amount of people. But then again, can they operate those parks with few people in them, or do they pay more? Who knows what will happen? But the thing is that we all. I mean, it's going to be a long time before we get the norm, and then will there ever really be a norm? This is going to change people and scar them in many ways. You're always going to have people that you're going to have a whole new age. Like my grandparents were, that they were like in a depression. So they always stocked. They always had a stock. They always had a pantry. They always had things.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see younger generations doing that exact same. You're never going to get down to your last package or two of toilet paper. You're always going to have, 3 or 4, So I think everybody's going to be, it's going to change everything probably for a very long time.
I made this comment before in conversations. there's no world organization like an FDA for the globe. Like we in the United States have the FDA to make sure the Food and Drug Administration makes sure drugs and food and everything is safe. But I think when the dust settles on this, those animal markets that cause this, somehow the global community needs to come together and crack down on that. Because forget about this one, if that happens again 2 years from now, some other weird strand from eating wild animals and things, this could be in continuum. Again, that's above my pay grade, but it's not the time to be focusing on that right now. But at some point in the future, we need to say, we got to try to crack down on this as a world to prevent these animal viruses translating into something that gets into the human population as much as possible. I don't know if it is possible.
And if this down the road, they said it won't, but if it does mutate down the road or do something, it can cause a whole, we could be, God forbid, right? I don't know, guys. It is, yeah. And I got a lot of folks that are on, that, come to our live streams and stuff that we have, and, they come there for comfort and stuff too. And, the thing is that people are scared. I get a lot of messages from a lot of people, and a lot of people are scared. I have seen folks that I've known in our channel for a long time, like all of a sudden see behavior from them that was like it's like, wow, what happened? You could tell people are stressed and people are having a hard time with everything and stuff. And so I don't know, yeah, it's crazy. It really is.
Yeah, I saw on your Facebook, I was actually talking to my wife the other day. I don't think on yours, Chris, so much, but on Yankee in the South, I particularly find Facebook to be stressful when I look at it for many, many different reasons, whether it's, politics or arguing or all these different things. But I usually found a couple of oases. One was this Mustang Club that I'm a part of, and the other was Yankee in the South. But when this virus came out, some of the stuff people were posting, there was a post from Will that was really innocent. It was like, oh, Walmart's empty. There was nothing political said, or it was just a very nice post. But the replies to it were driving me nuts. And I was like, people were saying this is nothing. It's the flu. People were reacting. They started saying it was political driven in the United States, even though it's global. It was all this stuff. And I told my wife, I said, I can't believe it, but there's some of the stuff on the Yankee in the South Facebook group that has stressed me out even, which used to be my oasis,
Yeah, we had to shut down we shut our group down from people coming in because we were having an influx of a bunch of negative, just horrible. People were attacking people for saying things about coming here for vacation, and people were just mean. Threats. We had threats on there, and of course we had to go through and and then a lot of those folks that were doing that, we noticed that they just come into that group recently. They were all newer. So what we did is we had to go through and, kick all those folks out, because you don't go around threatening people. If you're going to have guys, you can have, if you have criticism or whatever, you can say it nicely. You're not going to go there and say you're going to physically hurt somebody or whatever, and so we had to go in there. We had to actually shut that group down for just people coming in, and then we had to monitor that group because, you know what I'm saying? And people were getting attacked right and left from people. It was, and I guess that's the first time I knew people were super stressed, other than longtime patrons of the channel acting different than they normally do, And so, yes, it was, and I don't know. And I hear that
I noticed too, after the flood videos, there was a large influx of new subscribers to Yits and new people on Facebook, I noticed. I'm no database of 20,000 names in my head. I can't do that. But I did notice the people that were tending to be a little unusual for the Yankee in the South group were all new names for the most part. There may have been some veterans, but I didn't I didn't see it as much. It seemed to be some of the newer folks on that.
Whenever you have like a viral video or a video that goes outside the realm of your channel, you'll have about 30 to 50% that will either they'll enjoy what you do and they'll stay. Then you have that other, I don't know, it's the other half where they come across your video because it's a viral video. Of course, it was suggested to them, and they have no, they don't want to be part of your channel. You know, they don't want to be part of your community. They just want to go in there and just raise Cain. So yeah, and that's happened to every video that ever goes. You know, I mean, kind of like viral, I guess you'd say in a way, more than you're used to. But it's and you do get a lot of riffraff or whatever in there.
The good news is most of the stuff again has been really positive.
Yes.
It has. I mean, if you think about it, shifting again to the positive, look at what, if you kind of drew a family tree, it would be like Yankee in the South at the top. And you've got all these, offshoots of the community like Chris and myself and others, that there's just a real positive nature to it and some really fine folks, including like here, like making some really good friends that otherwise, because I don't know about you guys. I don't always necessarily, my neighbor is not always necessarily somebody I have something in common with. I mean, like my physical neighbor, and we're in a world where you can find commonality, with Chris or yourself, Will, and, people that you do have commonalities about. And so I think that this medium on YouTube has helped, bridge that gap so that we can do that. Thankfully, we still live pretty close. So you guys live a lot closer to each other than I do, but at least I'm in the vicinity. It's just not even a half day drive.
Yeah, Chris is in the basement actually right now.
That's right.
6 feet away.
So how did that start? I missed the day that started. How did the joke start? Because I know the ongoing, but how did it start?
I don't know, Chris. Do you remember?
I think I just made a joke about it one time, and people kept it going.
Yeah, they took off with it.
I mean, I just made one joke, I think, about it originally.
And the crazy thing is, I actually had people that later on, after a few weeks of it, they contact me and said, "Hey, I'm a survivor of a kidnapping or held at their will," and they're like, "I don't find that funny." You know what I mean? And I was like, "Oh my God!" It doesn't matter what you do, though, guys. There's always going to be something somewhere. You're gonna bump heads.
Somebody.
When I went in there and did that video of the shelves being empty at Walmart, I didn't think of anything of it. I just wanted to show people that I haven't seen that since the wildfires that were here. And I wasn't even thinking that we were all going to be under quarantine or nothing at that point, And of course, the reality kicked in, over time, so.
Will, you gave some good advice when I kind of got into it, and I've taken that to date. The reality is, if you open yourself up on YouTube, you're doing exactly that, and people are going to want to know about you, and it's very obvious. But you can throttle that. Certain people I've seen on their intro to their video, they have the names of their kids. They talk about it. They show where they live. Then there's other people that don't. It's kind of a pendulum. One of the things that I've contemplated is this medium, the live stream right here, is the one where really leaves the potential to open oneself up, like what you're talking about. The Chris in the basement comment, that comes up in live streams, not during one of the curated videos that you make.
Yeah.
And the other long conversations that are kind of ad hoc. So there are channels that we probably all subscribe to. They may not be travel. They could be tech, or they could be whatever your favorite stuff. They may have never done a live stream. They're all curated canned videos, and you really know nothing about that person. Just they review headphones, or they review cameras, or whatever. It doesn't matter, anything. The live stream in reality is that medium where it can expose some of that stuff. And so sometimes I wonder, how much to do on the live stream versus the curated videos. Right now, the problem is, well, I have some stuff in the can kind of like you, Will, like when the South of the Border came out. That was an older video, which you said right at the beginning. It's an older video, and then you got flack for it because people thought you drove over to South Carolina.
What are you doing traveling? You're going to literally kill hundreds of people. I mean, people were telling me that I was like, a murderer of people. I'm like, you guys are nuts. I told you in the beginning that most people I find out though, most people most people don't watch the videos all the way in this entirety, because a lot of times I'll make videos and the first question they'll say is, "Hey, Will, where's this at?" Or I was like, well, towards the end of the video, I tell you, all that. So there's a lot of yes, there's always something going on. But going back to where, if you start a YouTube channel, I always tell people that you got to remember, you're putting your life in a spotlight. You're stepping into a realm where your privacy is going to eventually go out the window. Eventually someone's going to find your name, and then somebody's going to start Googling or, and then before you know it, one day you're going to have a knock on your front door of your house, and they're going to be like, "Hey, can I," and most of the time people are just genuine wanting to meet you or whatever. But then I also have some creepers out there too, and I don't talk about them because that's what they want. And that's another thing too. If you ever get a troll or a creeper or somebody who goes, the worst thing you can do is talk about them, because that's what they want you to do. If you ignore them, eventually there's nothing there for it. But if you start mentioning them, they're gonna, they're gonna find it. That's what they're looking for. So you can't get mad when you put yourself in like Chris. You can't get mad if he's shopping at the Kroger and they're like, "Hey, it's that Chris about T-shirts." You can't turn around and say, leave me alone, because you know what though? I know in like YouTubers that were somewhat like that, where they were like, "Why are people coming?" And it's like, you put yourself in that spotlight.
If you see me at the Kroger, please come up and talk to me.
Yeah. I always tell. Yeah, it's actually, and there's some folks still get into YouTube and they're maybe an introvert or whatever you want to call it, and they don't want that. Well, that's a wrong business to be in, especially if you do get to a point where you're going to be recognized, So, but yeah, you do got to be careful. And I always tell people, don't tell people where you live. Don't. I see a lot of people start YouTube channels and they use their real name. Yeah, I'm saying, and eventually people are gonna. But ultimately, you want to keep that. I got this one young kid. He's like, "Oh, I want to start a YouTube channel." I said, "He goes, you got any tips for me?" I go, "Yeah, first change your name, because that's your full name, and you got your middle initial in there, and then you down below you told everybody your day, your birthday, and where town you lived in, and then." And then I go, you just literally, gave, and don't think that it might be all innocent in the beginning, but then all of a sudden you wake up one morning and you got 100,000 subscribers, and people are, they want to meet the person that they spend a lot of time. I always find that big thing about, why does anybody want to watch little old me with a camcorder technically running around making videos, but when people start watching you for a while, they find a connection with you. And the biggest thing people will say when they come up to you is, "Hey, I know you, but you don't know me." And that's the truth of it too.
I know you, but you don't. Have you had that, Chris? Have you had people come up to you and say, "You're Chris about T-shirts"?
Yeah, I've had a few people come up to me and say that. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird at first. And the other day we were sitting in a restaurant having dinner, and this little family came up, and she was like, this is a weird question, but are you a YouTuber? And I said, yeah. And she said, "Our daughter loves you and she watches you all the time." And she said it was you, but we weren't sure. So I'm like, yeah. I talked to him for a minute, but that was kind of cool. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. And that's what it's about too.
T-shirt, Chris, that says "Chris about T-shirts" yet? Like, how can you be on YouTube and not have or even a homemade one or something?
I have a couple that have my name on it, but
Like,
I gotta save those because I can't wear them too often because I can only wear one T-shirt a day for this year, and then it's gone for the rest of the year. Uh-oh. Alan's gone.
I don't know if he can get back into his own stream. Hang on a second. We've hijacked his stream.
We've kicked him out.
We've hijacked it. Oh.
Uh-oh, he's coming back.
We hijacked your stream there for a few
seconds. Maybe it was only on my end.
Don't tell him what he said while he was gone, okay?
It was just your end, yeah.
I know.
Everything froze all of a sudden. Did it freeze for you guys, or it was fine?
Nope. No, fine.
Oh, okay. Everything went black.
That's what I noticed about this program. If all of a sudden you lost the stream altogether, we would actually run it for a long time. There'd be like no way for you shutting it down. That's kind of a fault. That's kind of a fault. We'd almost have to all exit out.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of an issue with that program. I noticed that it could be an issue. Yeah.
So when it went black, was it only you two on the screen?
Yeah. It got to where there was just two boxes.
You took over the live stream.
That's right. Hey, Will, if we sing some copyright music, will it get his channel in trouble?
Yeah, actually it would. That's the problem with doing this is that if you don't have the right people
if you don't trust
you're
them,
interviewing, like I decide to, or whatever, I mean, it could affect.
I think a subscriber count just.
It could affect this channel. Did it? Yeah.
Yeah, I had my videos, they don't come out that often, but when I make one, I put a lot of time into it. And the last one I did was Ripley's. And in the very last room at Ripley's, right before the exit, I didn't talk enough for YouTube. Yep. So I didn't cover up the music and I didn't get in trouble. It was like, but it wasn't a copyright strike, but what happens is, and I can't even monetize anyway, but it basically told me, you're not in trouble. There's no problems, but you can't monetize this video because it has some dance song in it. And I tried to use the beta tools from YouTube. There's a beta version. It says you can either delete the video, you can cut out the scene, or you can use our beta tool, which will try to remove that song from that section. I'm like, great. I could do it myself. But I could easily do it. But what that would entail is I would have to do it offline and then re-upload the video as a different video. And then I would have lost the views, which in hindsight, I should have just done. But I tried to use their tool and it froze the video and it turned it black. You couldn't even watch it for like 3 or 4 days. And I sent YouTube an email. And I'm like, I used your tool because it tells you the video will still work while we process, so no problem. But it completely jacked it up. It said no, it's no longer available. And so eventually, like 4 days later, it came back online mysteriously. But I normally don't add copyrighted music, but has that ever happened to either one of you guys having something in the background?
All the time. And those ones there are not too bad because. Unless you're, the monetization is really important. That could be important for a big YouTuber that is getting, let's say, getting 100,000 views or something. I mean, that's a lot, especially if they put a lot of money in making that video. That could destroy, a channel over time. The problem comes in is that there's certain songs and certain scenarios that can get you, can give you strikes, actually what they call copyright strike.
Okay.
And they could be severe right off the bat. I mean, you can lose your, live streaming capabilities. And if you get 2 of them in a row, and then the crazy thing is that video can go out and be monetized for a couple weeks. And then all of a sudden you'll get a hit with a strike. And then like a week later, boom, with another one that you didn't realize. And guess what? You're 2 strikes in. You can't upload videos. You can't do nothing with your channel. It's going to make you think about how many other videos out there. So here's my live streaming. To me, it's only good for when you actually do it. I don't believe in keeping live streams up. You know what I mean? I do keep them up because people like to watch them back. I do have them in a library, but I don't keep them on the channel and stuff. Ultimately. They can be very dangerous, especially if you build a channel up, you get up there around 100,000 subs, and all of a sudden, in in just an instant. There's
David
Dawn.
Markley, by the way.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
you
to
got
get.
me.
Hey, Don.
Hi, everybody.
Can you hear us, Don, or only Will can hear?
Jennifer went shopping today and she scored the toilet paper.
Oh,
The
good.
cheap, this
Oh, my
cheap,
toilet paper.
She found
this
some.
is the cheap.
That's all it was left.
This here, you can't do nothing with this. You like,
paper.
and it's done. What? This is the. This is 50 cent.
I love that.
You like the 50 cent stuff?
I will trade you the pillow stuff for the cheap stuff. I like the cheap stuff. That's like $1 at Walmart.
Yeah, it's like, it's even, yeah. You know, well, I don't know about now. I don't know, but
probably $2.
You know, I thought about like having a give. Okay, see, I don't do giveaways and stuff. That's just not, guys. Do not build a channel with giveaways because you have a bunch of people that will join your channel and then never watch you again. But I thought about trying to grow our channel by giving away free rolls of toilet paper, guys. So if you guys want to come over and subscribe, we're going to have a toilet paper giveaway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't trust people to have sweepstakes on their channels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said, Chris.
If you're going to do giveaways, do it for the people that are already there. Do it for your audience. You know what I mean? Don't have giveaways to get an audience. Those folks are only there to win what you're trying to give away. And then guess what? They don't care, about you after that. You might even unsubscribe,
You're talking about those, like, if you're my 1,000 subscriber,
Hey,
then I'll give you
I can't. I don't know. Where am I going?
Yeah, this.
Hi, everybody. I had to show the toilet paper she scored. Oh, where's my thumb?
Can Dawn hear us, Will, or she can only
That
speak?
was the funniest thing.
No, she I got these in here, or we get the feedback, but.
So the other day, I was playing trivia with this community on Cashew Paul's channel, and one of the answers was Popcorn Sutton, and here's the you have to press XX to submit your answer, and if you see there at 7:43, I hit XX, and then Yankee in the South, which was Dawn, not Will. It was
with Dawn.
She was below me, and so Cashew Paul said Yankee in the South first, and then Mr. Mountain Man. And I said, no, I'm first. I wanted to joke with Dawn. You should tell her, because I wasn't serious, but I was like, I said it first, and everybody was like, no, you weren't. You weren't first, Mr. Mountain Man. And like a screenshot of it to show.
The funny thing about those, like, people, the problem is with between lag and between everything and people being all over. Those are everybody's looking at that differently because it's it's going to be everywhere. It's very hard to actually to play games like that. I guess you'd have to have a scenario as it doesn't matter what you guys are seeing. It matters what's happening here, or you could have maybe a third party somewhere that could say that person, whatever is on their screen. But that's going to be different with the lag and all that.
Like a software like this, like could host games or something like that. That would be pretty cool. It is pretty creative what he's done on that channel. I don't think he's here tonight, but
where is he, Chris?
I think he's busy.
Is he? Is he feeling okay?
Yeah, he's feeling good, guys. Everybody, from what I understand, he's feeling pretty good today.
Yeah. We're worried about him because I know he wasn't, these days, if anybody says anything about anything, people are, we're worried,
Well, that's the problem. Like, I don't know if you guys, I don't have allergies, but this is the kind of time of the year, and it could masquerade as something that seems like the virus or something.
Yeah.
I would feel
I have really bad allergies this time of year.
Yeah. Yeah, you might start coughing or something, be like, what's going on? It's just, what you said, Will, is so true. And Chris, I think maybe you said too, I'm trying to give everybody everywhere a little extra patience. I'm trying, like at work and out at out in public, because there's this underlying stress everybody has right now naturally. And I think it's got a little bit of people on edge.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people are, I started seeing things, just in the area, things that are just like, I saw a guy go in Walmart one day. He literally had this huge knife out on his, and they were having a fit, almost like a sword. I mean, he ran halfway down his leg, and he walked into Walmart, and they're like, you can't bring that in here. And he was arguing. He's like, how am I supposed to? It wasn't as much as him carrying it, is what he was saying to him. How am I supposed to protect myself from, getting beat up in this parking lot or something?
This was a knife, you said?
Yeah, well, it was like a sword almost. He carried a sword into Walmart, is what he did. Walmart's crazy.
Big sword on the back, like.
Of course, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, and the thing about it was, I made a joke to Dawn, like, okay, was this guy like the Highlander? He's taking heads out the parking lot or something. I mean, of course, the manager is not going to let you bring in your samurai. It's technically a samurai sword, It was, I don't know, and that's something I'd never seen before.
Sword into Walmart.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
I think when Mr. Mountain Man holds that hammer, he needs to have like a man bun on top of his head. That would complete the look.
Yeah.
That would just complete the look.
But
this camera's freaking me out, though, I need to say, because when I turn left, it turns right, and when I turn right, it turns left.
Yeah, it's different.
I can't get used to it.
Oh, you have
it's like inverted.
One?
Yeah, mine's inverted. So it's like every time I think I'm leaning one side, I lean and I get way off.
Chris, I just noticed your shirt. You have the Apple shirt, Apple Festival.
That's right. This is where I got to hang out with these two.
Yeah, you got lost going, not for the shirt, to get apples or something, right?
Yeah, I got lost looking for a candied apple.
Oh, yeah.
A caramel apple or whatever.
Yeah, that might have been a one and done. It's probably going to be 2 years before we can do that now, unfortunately. That was a fun day. Yeah. It was blazing hot, though, that day. That was a hot day. That street there in Hendersonville, there's no shade, really, unless you get under one of the awnings of the building. You can cook out there in that.
Yeah.
So, Will,
it was hot.
Guys going live today?
Are you doing what now?
Are you guys going live today? Still?
Yeah, later on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go live every day just because there's a lot of people who look forward to it,
Of course, yeah.
We get a lot of messages, like we help them get to sleep. A lot of people are from anxiety, just things like that.
People to sleep, I hear.
Yeah, I mean, Dawn's always like,
oh yeah, when she does a little,
yeah.
Because I talk too much, Well, when I'm doing those live streams, I mean, in my brain when I'm doing it, I kind of want to keep everybody entertained. I mean, I don't want like periods of like silence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm always constantly trying to like keep a flow on it. And Dawn, she'll be like, but I try not to give
it's like radio, Will.
periods
it's
of silence.
Like you don't want, you hear the DJ saying you don't want silence.
I'm going to do this in another room. I'm going to lock myself in a room next time I do this.
I thought I saw Mindy poking you with a pin, Chris. Was Mindy there too?
Yeah, she was poking me with a pin.
Mr. Mountain Man, if I didn't have Dawn and Chris didn't have Mindy, we'd be a wreck.
Yeah, I know,
you know
right?
what I'm saying? They keep us in line. I mean, they do. I probably would have had a scene at the Walmart earlier over hand sanitizer, Dawn's like, it's just hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
I go, I need it.
I would say with my wife, it's probably the same about 19 out of 20 times. She's the voice of reason, but every once in a while, she will take off and get really mad, and I have to calm her down. Usually, me.
Dawn in that 12 page. See, look what happened. Look what toilet paper has done to the world. Dawn is featuring toilet paper. She's like,
I know.
she's going around the thing is, she's taunting people. It's kind of like a diamond ring back in the day. You know what?
I know.
Hey girls, I got TP.
Yeah.
Just picked it up today.
I guess I should have mine because mine's a 12-pack. I don't want to be bragging or anything.
What? You got a 12-pack?
Mine's a 12-pack. I don't want to be bragging or anything, so I better not bring that out here.
You know, Chris, I know where you live, bud. I know where you live. The only thing is, I'd be afraid to come over and try to take it because Mindy would hit me with the old frying pan as soon as I.
I'll just stay within 6 feet of it so you can't get to it.
Yeah.
You just wait till this blows over, and then all that extra toilet paper, there's going to be some adolescents TPing houses. Or maybe that's something we only did back in the 80s.
Well, I did that stuff when I was a little heathen.
Yeah.
And now that's like, you don't want to.
Yeah, you're throwing gold on the trees. People be going up there taking it and putting it back together. I do not understand the toilet paper thing. I still don't understand, like, of all the things we could have afforded for this, like vitamins or orange juice or water, I don't know, toilet paper. I don't know.
There was I heard from a couple of states that their governors were saying that they were going to start like making it illegal to sell toilet paper, kind of like on a black market, just so they can stop. That's loud, Dawn. And so, I mean, I could see a state banning like the resale of toilet paper or something. I mean, what are we going to tell our? What are we going to tell our grandkids? Man, I remember the day I had to use the hose on the shower or something. I don't know.
Like a bidet or something. Yeah.
Is that happening in other countries, or was it just here? I mean, did that happen in Italy?
I don't know.
Got so bad there, or in China, or
it doesn't
like
make any sense. Like,
or is it just an American thing?
For a long period of time, you can't eat toilet paper. So I don't get. I mean, if all the chicken was gone and all the cereal, I would get it. The bread, maybe, but toilet paper, I don't know.
There's got to be. The thing is that obviously it is hoarding because we don't run out of toilet paper normally, So I don't know.
We don't. Did you guys see that they there were a couple of guys, they tried to expose people, like going to like do all the hoarding. eBay and Amazon cracked down so that you couldn't price gouge those. And so some of these people got exposed through social media. And I know one guy ended up donating like truckloads to like a church, a local church or something, because people are like, you loser, you got 40,000 rolls of toilet paper. And, there's senior citizens and other people who don't have any. So it made no sense to me at all. I mean, even for a family our size, I don't know, 16 rolls will last quite some time.
Yeah.
That stuff you were holding, Will, is the stuff normally when we go for the week, I'd get 2 of those, and that'd be plenty.
We did a 7-hour, like, as you guys probably know, we did a 7-hour live stream driving to Detroit, and Denise, we got her a 24-pack, right? Because we found it the day that we were leaving to go. I said, you better buy that because you're probably not going to find it. And so it was up in the back window, and I'll tell you what, the whole live stream, the focus was on that toilet paper back there. I go, we got a new celebrity back there. People are like, oh my gosh, you're going to get mugged, and it was crazy. And
was that
I don't know, guys.
Used in the shot for the live stream? I think I saw
probably.
It. Yeah, it was in the back. Yeah.
Of course, Bill, and then of course we had a we got stream sniped by Bill in the middle of Ohio.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
So what happened? What happened?
Oh, you didn't see it. So we were driving because we were going to Michigan to drop Denise off. We had to. She had to get back. We turned right around because of all the stuff that was going on. We couldn't stop or really do anything. So we were going through Ohio, and all of a sudden this car passes me, and it says Yankee in the South on the side and all that. I go, first of all, like, first thing that came to my mind, first thing was who's in my blind spot driving.
Yeah.
And then I said, who in the heck is getting married during this, right?
Yeah.
And then I noticed that it was Bill. He decided he was going to photobomb us. He waited for us.
How did he? Oh, he just knew that you'd be.
Well, we were live, and he lives near 75, so
okay.
he waited for us, and then he knew we were coming up on the exit, so he just pulled out.
Okay, that's really cool. What day was that? Because I don't know why I missed all 7 hours of it.
It was like a Saturday or something. Yeah.
Was it during the day?
I think it was Sunday. It was Sunday from like 9 a.m. till 7 p.m.
Yeah, it was Sunday. It was Sunday, all day Sunday.
Yep. You mean yesterday?
No. It was a Sunday, like a week back.
Like a week ago. Okay, yeah, that's when I think
it was the longest live stream I've ever conducted. Yeah, huh?
I said, right now you might not be able to get back through those states.
No, and that's what I was looking at. I was looking at, okay, if we don't go now, we could get stuck somewhere. You know, it was actually I was really on needles the whole time because Denise, Dawn's sister, had a date. She had to be there by the 25th. She had to be, you know, she would lose her livelihood, her job and everything. So she had to be there. And it was one of those things where we didn't want to go. We were hoping that her obligation would cancel. She could just stay down here until it just passed over. But of course, you know what happened? So she went there and, you know, everything was cool. And then what they do, her job's not essential. So.
Oh, no.
So it was kind of, in a way, it was kind of, she had to be there for the first, you know what I mean, for the first day of it. But then after that, they unessentialed her job. So she's sitting there doing nothing. She could have been here the whole time.
Did you guys stop, Will, for like food?
We stopped twice.
Okay.
We took all of her food with us.
Okay.
So we had to stop twice. In the Jeep, you got to stop twice. We stopped in Kentucky, and then we stopped towards the upper part of Ohio, and then the same coming back. So we had to stop to get gas twice. But technically, the girls ran in, used the restroom, and they had gloves and Lysol cans. You just saw those two girls.
Oh, yeah.
Running around the bathroom. Actually, believe it or not, the rest areas were super clean because they had people in there full time and they were just bleaching everything. Yeah. So really, believe it or not, it was actually a safe bet to use a rest area, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I think that they were really trying to stop the spread of anything. And it just smelled like, as soon as you open that door, you could just smell, boom, the bleach and everything that they were using.
You got truck drivers, professional drivers. So they got to keep moving.
Yes. A 7-hour live. That's the longest stream I ever had. I had something 145 days of watch time on it. It was like just crazy. Yeah.
I didn't realize the whole time?
Yes, there's actually quite a few people stayed the whole time.
Wow.
I don't know. Of course, we were there, but we were driving, so it was kind of like we flipped the camera on the road, and people watched the road for a while. Then we flip it back to us, and we flip back to the road, and then we got down to Detroit. We actually drove around, and I actually got out and ran around like an idiot for a few minutes, but I didn't touch anything. I got hate. I got a lot of hate for that too. People were like,
"Oh, geez,
you stepped out in Detroit," and I even got a message the other day from someone, and they're saying, because Detroit's having of course they're one of the areas that are hot. They're like, "Will, you got out." You know what I mean? So,
what are they sending you an email, or it's in the YouTube comment?
Messages, email, not as much as email, but messages and stuff like that. Yes.
Oh, they contact you directly, like a friend, and it'll be like, "You shouldn't do that" or something.
Well, some of it's email.
Okay.
Some of them are. Some of them are they're on Messenger. Yeah.
Oh wow.
They're on Messenger with me. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Block.
Yeah. We believe it or not, though, we had to go through and take out a lot of, because you can't have people trashing other people and saying, what I mean, come on. I mean, if you got a disagreement, other people in the chat. Well, no. I'm talking about other, just lately, everybody's on edge about everything.
Yeah.
So and a lot of times this is what happens. A lot of people will come in there and they'll put a comment in there like, "Hey, I'm coming down to Gatlinburg next weekend." And then, of course, they're going to get 50 people saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't come down. You're, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And you know what? You don't need to be mean. And people are like literally saying that if they catch this is crazy. Somebody said that they were local. We can't confirm that at all. And that if they seen them on the street, that they were going to beat them up, with a baseball bat. And it's like, wow, this is behavior. This is behavior we never normally have in our chats ever.
That is,
like I said, things are crazy, and people were literally threatening people if they come here that they were going to, beat them up and things like that. So
good gracious, that's crazy. You probably should do some announcements on your channel. We will not tolerate that stuff. That's crazy.
And they just get the moderators. They just, everybody just they lose their privileges after threatening is you don't even get a second try at it.
Yeah.
You just disappear, and that's what happens.
Well, I do.
There's Mindy. Mindy.
Mindy's taking over for me.
Mindy, Chris, I think you just about got tackled there.
Hey, Mindy, show us that 24-pack.
The shiny.
It was a 12-pack.
Chris got you.
Oh, 12-pack?
Yeah.
Chris. It's a 12-pack. Chris, that's just a 12-pack, buddy.
Yeah.
I got a 4-pack, so.
Yeah, we just have 4-packs here. That's all we have.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, I want to be sensitive to the Yankee in the South live stream. We've been on for a bit here, and I've really enjoyed this. This has been a complete success, I think. Have you guys enjoyed it as well?
Yes, it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was actually a good, because I could see before, we tried to do this on Yitz. I could see how it kind of goes, So, and of course, I'll invite you guys on the Yitz. So we'll probably try that sometime this week. I don't know. Or whatever. I'll let you guys know whatever your schedule is, and we'll figure it out.
Or let us know, and I hope you guys will come back on again. I really like this format because, like you said, Will, it's easy. You can keep the dialogue going one way, but this is pretty cool to have additional dialogue. Hopefully everybody in the chat. Normally, my Mountain Man Monday, I'm usually attending to the chat, but I think this is a pretty cool dynamic to get to see multiple people in the community be able to interact and listen in on that conversation. And I did keep an eye on everything that was going on over there. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the dialogue and the interview and the talking and everything that's going on. I would love to do this again sometime. I hope that if you guys want to, and I know I hope someday when it gets back to normal, I know your normal cadence for the live stream, is usually either Thursday, Sunday, or just Sunday or whatever. So I'm really appreciative for you joining tonight because I know you guys.
Oh, not a problem.
Yeah, thank you.
And the only reason why we're going every single day is because we found out there's a lot of people that in the community that enjoy that contact every night. A lot of people are having a hard time with things, and they just like some place to talk to. I think there's a lot of lonely people out there too that don't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah.
But they're part of the Yitz community or whatever. So that's why we do it every night.
That's Mandy. She wants somebody good to talk to her.
Yes,
she's stuck with me
because she's bored of you, Chris.
Yeah, I guess so. I think Sexy Matt's saying that you need better guests next time, though.
What's that?
I think Sexy Matt is saying you need better guests next time besides me and Will.
What's he saying? And you can do this to anybody. I think when I start to do it, though, you got to be careful who you do because it could be an issue. But I think we can. Eventually, I want to get to a point where folks have been in the channel for a while, like the folks in the chat there, like Scott or Blondie, or who of course Blondie will, but other people in there that have been with the they can. It's a good way because a lot of these people, they attend the chat for a long time, but they never see the person who they talk to. So it's going to be it will be a big dynamic when all of a sudden we see who Karen's story is. You know what I'm saying? We always talk to Karen. I'm using Karen as a reference. We always talk to Karen, but we might never seen Karen. So it's going to be interesting, as time goes on, how these kind of live streams do play out.
Will, one thing about this yard stream, and I also encourage if you guys want to use it or anybody else, two comments about it, about this particular one. One is I'm only using the free edition. That's why the bird is up there in the corner. I considered the premium, but it was not worth the money. It's not even a little bit to get in. It's quite a bit of a subscription, and you really don't get that much. I was looking for things like either it like upped your video quality or something, but with the free edition, you can have up to 6 guests. The only thing about, I'm kind of getting the feel tonight, it feels to me about 3 people is probably good. If you get too many, it's going to be hard to dialogue. Like if you put in 6 or 5, even 4 might be tough. 2 would be good. 3 is good.
Yes.
So you can have up to 6. And the other thing is, with this particular software, the link that I provided to you guys was not unique to like one for Chris and one for you. So that is something I definitely would not put in the chat, because then everybody I still had to allow the people into the live stream. So if somebody had accidentally got it, I would have never added them down here, but they don't make user specific. So I just sent you guys, it's just one URL.
Yeah. And and I've actually seen there's some other YouTubers I've seen use the Streamlabs. What's his name? Can't think of. Anyways, there's another YouTuber. And it's the same scenario. You get anything really over 3 or 4, it's people are stomping on each other, and it's just it gets really. And then you get one person here who doesn't have the right. You get the echo, and it's just crazy. Yeah. So. Yeah.
We could try to bite people, right? Like,
I'm gonna hold up little signs.
Hey, Will, put your finger like Will, like I put it like, hey, Chris, put your finger like I'm poking you. See, put it like through the screen. Now you got to do the other one. Yeah. There you go.
Hey, Chris, you want to play some Old Maid, Chris? You want to play some Old Maid?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Got Old Maid for you, bud.
That's what we're going to play?
We got to figure out how to do a social dip. We could, you know what? We could play. You could have someone handle the cards.
Or like one person.
And like, Chris, there it is.
That game.
Anyways, anyways.
Yeah, when we played in the cabin, Will recorded the hand where I was actually the Old Maid, so thanks for that.
Yeah. Chris, we love you. Got Old Maid, guys. But
well, I want to thank you guys again, Chris, for joining, and Will. Not only because it was fun for the live stream, but I actually haven't gotten together with you 2 guys in a while, and we've been meaning to do it. So now we have no excuse. From here on out, if something in the world comes up with any of our schedules or whatever, we at least have to get together on a live stream.
Just email me if I get it.
Yeah.
We'll just go live,
Yeah. No, this was really great. Everybody will be going over to Yankee in the South now, because Chris, you don't have one tonight, right?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining as well. We had a lot of great people. We did see your comments. Thank you for joining this Mountain Man Live with special guests, Will from Yankee in the South and Chris about T-shirts. Because I do record these and keep them on the channel just in case for some reason somebody doesn't know about their channels, I will put the links in the comments below, because as Will said, sometimes people go back and watch old live streams and you never know. Maybe sometimes I'm getting people that like my Myrtle Beach videos and may not know this community, and then they'll get to know you all too. So thank you so much, Will and Chris. I hope everybody has a great week. Stay safe. Head over to Yankee in the South and join their live stream, and everybody have a good night. Good night, Will. Good night, Chris.
Good night.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. See you later, Chris. See you later, Miss Mountain Man.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. Good night, everyone. See you, Chris.
Bye. I don't know how to get out. Oh, wait, here I see it.